You can certainly tell what the aim is. What the aim is, and the aim of literary fiction is you can tell right away.
Yeah, and I think that's hard for people who are trying to break in because I think when you or I, because we've read so much literary fiction, our whole lives, right? I'm assuming, and I think when we pick up a new author's book and it's a new voice and something we haven't seen before, we get really, really excited. And so it makes sense to us that an editor or an agent might have that reaction, but that people who haven't had the benefit of reading as many different literary fiction pieces as we have might not have that reaction. And so my first response when people come up to me and say, "Oh, I have this literary fiction masterpiece that I want you to read," I say, "Okay, I want to know what you read. I want to know what your influences are. I want to know who you're copying." Because everybody goes through that phase. And I want to read just the beginning of it. Because I do think it is obvious from the beginning if someone has a good voice. And that's a hateful thing. I know that everybody who's submitting hates that, but it really is true. It is quite apparent, I think. It jumps off the page at me, don't you think?
The voice?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yours certainly does.
The voice, and also your mastery of plot. Do you understand plot? Do you understand? Do you understand? I think that we're storytelling animals, and that storytelling and listening is part of our DNA, and that's why mysteries are so popular, because we want to know what happens next. And so you're going to know if someone has a way with words, interesting characters. And if they're setting up expectations, are they aware of plot? Do they know how to set it up? Are they? It's not quite a science, but there are definitely elements involved that follow prescriptions and that are used. Yeah, and so all those things are apparent. When you write, you leave yourself out there. You're out there.
And I think that's also true of really good genre writing, where you have to read widely to know what the conventions are. I was talking to a genre writer at a conference in the fall where he said, "Oh, well, once every 35 pages we have a lead up to a love scene, but it doesn't. We don't actually follow through." And then at around page 99, it actually does follow through. And he was able to give me an absolute formula, and he was right for his genre, and he's rather well known. And probably would prefer that I not say who he is because this is how he writes. But that you wouldn't know that unless you were intimately familiar with your own genre. And that the readers of those genres their bodies will be expecting certain things to happen, right? It's like, wait a minute, there have been 40 pages and there isn't a love scene. I think it's fascinating. And I think that that writers in general don't give enough credit for how difficult it is to learn this convention and to learn how to put a plot together that takes those into account.